got this wrong notion because of the amount of opportunities that digital at large offers to you, but through digital as a medium, you can drive your marketing objectives, you can drive your sales objectives, you can drive your HR objectives, you can drive your business, B2B business applications. But as a marketer, we need to focus only, we not need to necessarily get awed by the universe of opportunities that the digital at large offers, but restrict ourselves to what, as a digital marketing professional, I need to do, and how the medium can help me on that. I just read a report the other day which said that by 2020, all media will be digital. So forget everything, even if it is from a career standpoint. I think if you do not have digital as a component in your CV, it's going to be a bit difficult for people to survive, 5 years, 10 years down the line. So there are no options but to adapt digital, but to experience it. And because otherwise, I guess it would be that the 50 years old will be reporting into the 35 years old if you really don't adapt the medium, because if 80% of the medium is going to be digital, and if you've not experienced it, you shied away from it, it's going to be a scary situation from a career standpoint as well. That's all I have to say, I think.
Okay. Thank you. Folks, give me a quick second. Let me just put this off. I already have something on me. Is this working? Can everybody hear me? All right. Give me a quick second. I'll just put on something. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you, Manish. He's already covered a lot of what I might have wanted to say, but still gets a little more difficult, but I'll try and add a little more value to where he's coming from. Just give me a quick 1 second here. Unfortunately, I can't plug in my presentation right now, so I'll just use my machine. I'll just talk through it, and we'll go through it. Okay. Key question right now is the online marketing a different world from the standard advertising industry? First question, I just would like to ask everybody: how many of you here have been in the online advertising industry for more than 2 years? Could you just raise your hands? Nice. Everybody else, look at these guys. They have at least 3 other job offers in the other hand right now, on which they're sitting tight. And it's serious. I'm very serious. There's a lot of shortage of demand, as you've seen from the other people who spoke before me. There is a lot of momentum in this industry. It is the industry of the future in India. It's growing extremely fast, and there are very, very few people who are still moving towards the digital landscape. Now, what I'm going to try and do is we'll talk about some of the myths that we come across. Now, as an organization, Ishir has been in the digital space for the last 8 years. We've been so far primarily catering to the international markets, US and UK, where we have offices. We have over 200 people, and in the last 6 months, we decided to move into the local market as well. So what I'm going to also try and do is add a little perspective on what our learning has been working with international clients and what we have seen so far to some extent in India. Okay? Now, let's talk about some of the myths. I don't think many of you can see it, but still, okay, I'll just talk about it. Let's talk about some of the myths which people come across, whether it's people looking at moving to the industry or whether it is the advertisers who we meet on an ongoing basis. One myth is that the internet is all about rocket science. It's a lot about technology, and it's very, very complex. Okay? I'm not going to address them right now. We'll go to that right at the end. I'll start with this slide, and I'll end with this at the end, and I'll build my case along the way. Second myth we come to is that it only works well for lead-based campaigns, and it is an absolute no-no for branding purposes. Okay? We hear that a lot as well. Third thing is that the demographics of people online and offline are very different. The question is that relevant from the point of view of advertising fundamentals and marketing fundamentals? Another point, that digital and offline agencies must be different. That's another view a lot of companies have, that we're dealing with one A agency which only does A kind of work, and digital must be different, and because they think differently, they work differently, and you cannot have the same agency do all kinds of work. And finally is that the skills and experience required in the digital landscape are very different from the skills and experience required in traditional advertising. Now, the thing is, you can call them myths. That, of course, people believe these things. So like they say, if myths hold too long, they become true, right? But there is meaning in these points. But what we will try and talk about is the relationship of these with the fundamentals of advertising and marketing, correct? Moving forward, let's first talk about what does digital really mean? What does online advertising really mean? What does it comprise of? All right? There are a couple of parts to it. One is strategy. You go to a customer, understand the business, understand the marketing needs, understand who the customers are, who they want to target, keep an understanding at the back of your mind of what the internet has to offer, put together strategies on how they can reach out to the customers and get them value. So the one part is strategy. One part is the creative side of it, which is websites, could be microsites, could be virals, video-based content, flash presentations, and a lot of the creative work which you see on the internet. Another side is the media and the actual advertising side of it, which is the multiple channels online. One is search engine marketing, which you've heard like 3 speakers before me talk about, right? So, which could be organic search, could be paid search, social media optimization is picking up, display advertising is a part of it, email marketing, affiliates, they all form a part of the advertising in the online marketing world. And then you have technology. On one side you have Microsoft, one side you have open source, in between you have the various application service providers, and then you have a whole lot of concepts like Ajax and Web 2.0, which is more to make your sites and platforms more usable, right? And to add another level of usability to them. And you put them all together, you get what is the digital world, which is an advertising agency which is focused on the internet, right? And so this is in a way what really digital is. The complexity lies because everything is very dependent on the others, right? So you need to get a right mix of them to be able to get results. Let's talk a little bit about some of the numbers. In India today, there are about 250 million people who are a part of the urban population. And from the numbers which we have, only 32 million people today really are active users. The claims are it's 46, 50 million, but the actual active users who use the internet is just 32 million people. We are way behind any other country developing or developed in the world. Even Brazil is like at 4 times more than us. They made an initiative in 2003. Their broadband usage and the customers online grew 100% year on year, and today they're at 120 million, right? We are still at just about 32 million, which is nothing. Of those 40, 50 million people which we here claim to be on the internet, only 40% of the people really are in the top 8 metros. The other 60% of the people still come from the smaller metros and smaller towns and the rest of India. Another thing, okay, it is a fact that a lot of people are young. The number says that almost 93% of the people today on the internet are below the age of 40.